Welcome to Sleepy Otaku Stories, your peaceful home for softly spoken anime stories. If you enjoyed tonight's relaxing tale, please like, comment, and subscribe. Now, get comfortable, close your eyes, and let's begin. The story begins in the Hidden Leaf Village, a peaceful but powerful ninja village nestled among lush forests and mountains. Years before, a colossal, malevolent creature known as the Nine-Tailed Fox Demon attacked the village with unmatched ferocity. Its swirling mass of chakra and razor-like tails laid waste to everything in its path, destroying homes, crushing shinobi, and filling the air with fear and death. In the midst of this chaos, the fourth Hokage, a revered and powerful leader named Minato Namikaze, made the ultimate sacrifice. He sealed the nine tails inside the body of his newborn son, believing it was the only way to save the village. The price for this act was his own life and his wife's as well. The villagers never truly understood the depth of his sacrifice. All they saw was the child who carried the demon within. That child was Naruto Uzumaki. From the very beginning, Naruto was shunned, ostracized, and treated as an outcast. He grew up without parents, without love, enduring suspicious stares and cold whispers. The adults feared the demon sealed inside him, and the children learned to avoid him by example. He became a lonely boy, desperate for acknowledgement, craving a connection he never received. With no family or friends, Naruto resorted to pulling harmless but loud pranks on the village, painting graffiti on monuments, causing small disruptions, and laughing loudly in the streets. Anything to make people notice he existed. Despite his cheerful exterior, Naruto carried deep pain in his heart. He often sat alone on the swing outside the academy, watching other parents greet their children with smiles and warmth, wishing someone would do the same for him. The only person who seemed to understand him in those days was Iruka Umino, an academy instructor. Iruka too had lost his parents in the Nine Tails attack, and though he initially felt resentment toward Naruto, he saw himself in the boy's loneliness and longing. Slowly, Iruka became the first adult to truly care for Naruto. As Naruto grew older, he dreamed of becoming the Hokage, the leader of the village, so that everyone would have to acknowledge his existence. He threw himself into training at the Ninja Academy, though he struggled with even the most basic techniques. One day, during an important graduation test, he failed to perform the clone jutsu, leaving him humiliated in front of his peers. This failure set off a chain of events. Mizuki, a traitorous instructor at the academy, manipulated Naruto by telling him about a secret scroll hidden in the Hokage's office. Mizuki tricked him into stealing the Scroll of Seals, a forbidden artifact containing powerful jutsu. Naruto believed learning a secret technique from the scroll could help him finally graduate. When Iruka found Naruto in the woods, exhausted after hours of training, Mizuki revealed his true intentions. He attacked Iruka and told Naruto the cruel truth the boy had never been told, that he was the host of the Nine-Tailed Fox Demon that had destroyed the village. Mizuki intended to kill Naruto and steal the scroll for his own gain. Naruto, shocked and heartbroken, felt the weight of all the hatred directed at him. But Iruka, despite his own pain from the past, stepped in front of Naruto to shield him. Iruka declared that Naruto was not the demon, but a courageous boy who deserved love. Hearing Iruka's words, Naruto's pain turned into resolve. With sudden clarity and determination, Naruto used a forbidden technique he had learned from the scroll, the multi-shadow clone jutsu. Unlike ordinary clones, these were solid and numerous, a technique requiring incredible chakra. Hundreds of Naruto clones overwhelmed Mizuki in a blinding assault, defeating him. In the aftermath, Iruka gave Naruto his own forehead protector, symbolizing Naruto's graduation as a true ninja. For the first time, Naruto felt acknowledged. Soon after, Naruto was assigned to a three-man squad under a Jonin sensei. His teammates were Sakura Haruno, a girl he admired but who didn't return his feelings, and Sasuke Uchiha, a prodigy from the powerful but tragic Uchiha clan. Sasuke was calm, confident, and extremely talented, the polar opposite of Naruto. Their sensei was Kakashi Hatake, a mysterious and aloof ninja known for his masked face and Sharingan eye. On their first mission as a team, Kakashi tested them with a deceptively simple exercise to take 2 bells from him. But there were 3 students and only 2 bells, meaning one of them would fail. Naruto, eager to prove himself, charged recklessly and failed miserably. Sasuke showed remarkable skill, but still couldn't outwit Kakashi. Sakura was too afraid to engage directly. Only when they began to work together, sharing food and planning as a team, did Kakashi reveal the true lesson. He told them that those who break the rules are scum, but those who abandon their friends are worse than scum. They passed the test because they showed loyalty and teamwork. For the first time, Naruto felt part of a family. Their next missions started small, like chasing cats and helping villagers, but soon they were assigned something dangerous, escorting a bridge builder named Tsunade to the land of waves. What seemed like a simple C-rank mission quickly turned life-threatening. They were ambushed by rogue ninjas, the Demon Brothers, who nearly killed Naruto. It was his first taste of real combat, and though he was terrified, he stood his ground, stabbing his own hand to overcome his fear. Kakashi realized the mission was far more dangerous than expected, but Naruto insisted on continuing. As they traveled further, they encountered a deadly assassin, Zabuza Momochi, the demon of the hidden mist. Zabuza was a former elite ninja turned mercenary, wielding a massive sword and unmatched killing intent. Kakashi fought fiercely, revealing his Sharingan eye, which could read and copy any jutsu. The battle was intense, water clones clashing, deadly mist swirling around them. Just when Kakashi seemed to have the upper hand, a masked boy named Haku appeared, saving Zabuza with incredible speed and precision. Naruto watched in awe and fear as true shinobi faced off, realizing how far he still had to go. Back at Tsunade's home, Naruto bonded with the bridge builder's family and saw the suffering of oppressed people for the first time. It opened his eyes to the harsh realities of the ninja world. He promised himself he would become stronger, not just for himself, but to protect others. The next day they returned to face Zabuza and Haku in a climactic battle on the unfinished bridge. Haku, gentle yet deadly, trapped Sasuke and Naruto inside a dome of crystal ice mirrors, unleashing a devastating barrage of Senbon needles. Sasuke fought valiantly to protect Naruto, awakening a glimpse of his Sharingan. Naruto, enraged at seeing Sasuke fall, unleashed the dormant power of the Nine Tails for the first time. His chakra flared wildly, his wounds healed instantly, and his strength multiplied. He shattered Haku's ice mirrors in a surge of primal fury, showing the terrifying potential of the demon fox within him. Outside, Kakashi defeated Zabuza in a final battle, only for the 2 enemies to meet tragic ends. Haku sacrificed himself to protect Zabuza, and Zabuza, realizing Haku's love for him, turned on the corrupt businessman who had hired him. Mortally wounded, Zabuza asked to die beside Haku. Naruto, deeply moved by this, learned that even enemies could have precious bonds. The bridge was completed and named the Great Naruto Bridge in his honor, marking his first step as a hero. He returned to the village changed, carrying the weight of his first true mission and the understanding that being a ninja meant more than glory. It meant enduring pain, protecting bonds, and walking a path of sacrifice. Returning to the Hidden Leaf Village, Naruto was more determined than ever to grow stronger. Though he was still clumsy and loud, His first true mission had taught him what it meant to risk his life and protect others. Soon after, the village buzzed with excitement. The Chunin exams were announced. This was a rigorous test for Genin-level ninja to advance in rank, attracting teams from other villages. Naruto, eager to prove himself and surpass Sasuke, signed up with his teammates. On the day of registration, they encountered intimidating competitors from other lands. Among them was Rock Lee, a strange boy with bowl-cut hair, thick eyebrows, and an enthusiastic personality. Lee, despite lacking the ability to use ninjutsu or genjutsu, was a master of taijutsu and challenged Sasuke to a duel right there in the hall. Sasuke, always confident, accepted, but Lee's speed and strength were overwhelming. With his blinding agility and precise strikes, Lee defeated Sasuke effortlessly, leaving Naruto shocked and humbled. The first phase of the exams began in a large hall filled with nervous genin. It was a written test that seemed impossible for someone like Naruto, who barely understood the questions. The true purpose wasn't the answers, but how well they could gather information and avoid detection. Naruto was on the verge of giving up, but his stubborn refusal to quit impressed the proctor. The final question was a psychological trick. Those who lacked confidence would forfeit. By boldly declaring he would never give up, Naruto inspired others and passed the first test through sheer determination.
The second phase took place in the Forest of Death, a dangerous area teeming with wild beasts and poisonous plants. Each team had to obtain 2 scrolls, one heaven, one earth, and reach the central tower within 5 days. As soon as Team 7 entered, they were ambushed by a mysterious figure. He revealed himself as Orochimaru, a rogue ninja and one of the legendary Sannin. His presence radiated killing intent so intense it froze Naruto and Sakura in terror. Sasuke, though shaken, fought back but was utterly outclassed. Orochimaru bit Sasuke's neck, leaving a sinister curse mark that throbbed with dark power. He intended to lure Sasuke away from the village to use his body as a future vessel. Naruto, despite his fear, unleashed the Nine-Tails chakra again, attacking Orochimaru with reckless courage. The snake-like Sannin was amused and left, satisfied that the seeds of chaos were planted. Sasuke collapsed, writhing from the pain of the curse mark, and Sakura was left to protect them both. During their struggle in the forest, Sakura's resolve was tested. Enemies attacked while Sasuke was unconscious, and Naruto was recovering from his injuries. Rock Lee appeared to protect Sakura, demonstrating his incredible dedication, but he was brutally defeated by the enemy ninjas. Sakura, realizing she could no longer rely on others, cut her own hair in a symbolic gesture of change and fought back, showing her first moment of real bravery. Finally, Sasuke awoke, his curse mark flaring with terrifying energy. He defeated their enemies with ruthless power, leaving Naruto unsettled by the darkness he saw in his teammate.
After surviving the Forest of Death, Team 7 advanced to the next phase, preliminary matches in the arena. These one-on-one battles determined who would proceed to the final round. The matches were fierce, showcasing the skills of ninja from various villages. Sasuke fought Yoroi and displayed incredible speed and precision, though Kakashi quickly sealed away the curse mark to prevent it from consuming him. Sakura faced Ino, her childhood friend turned rival, in a fight that ended in a draw when they simultaneously knocked each other out. Then came Naruto's match against Kiba Inuzuka, a wild fighter who fought alongside his loyal dog, Akamaru. Kiba mocked Naruto, thinking he was weak, but Naruto's unpredictability and stubbornness turned the tide. Using his shadow clones and quick thinking, Naruto managed to outwit Kiba, landing an explosive fart to disorient his sensitive nose, and ultimately won the match in comedic yet impressive fashion. It was a small but meaningful victory that boosted Naruto's confidence. Another unforgettable match was Rock Lee versus Gaara of the Sand. Lee removed the heavy training weights from his legs, revealing his incredible speed. He launched a devastating assault, pushing Gaara further than anyone ever had. But Gaara's impenetrable sand shield and monstrous sand coffin technique proved too much. Lee fought with everything he had, even opening the forbidden inner gates, risking his body for the sake of victory. He moved faster than the eye could see, landing bone-crushing blows. But Gaara, fueled by his own dark past, crushed Lee's arm and leg mercilessly. Though Lee lost, he earned the respect of everyone watching. Naruto was deeply moved by Lee's determination and silently vowed to fight with the same spirit.
Gaara's presence was chilling. His cold, emotionless eyes revealed a boy consumed by bloodlust and loneliness. Like Naruto, he was a Jinchuriki, a host of a tailed beast. But unlike Naruto, Gaara embraced hatred and violence. This parallel haunted Naruto, showing him what he could have become if he had given in to despair. After the preliminaries, the final matches were scheduled to take place a month later. During this time, each finalist would train and prepare. Naruto met Jiraiya, one of the legendary Sannin, a boisterous and eccentric man with immense power. Jiraiya saw potential in Naruto and agreed to train him. He helped Naruto learn to better control the Nine Tails chakra and taught him a powerful summoning technique to call forth toads from Mount Mayaboku. At first, Naruto struggled miserably, failing repeatedly and summoning only tiny tadpoles. But through perseverance and life-threatening practice, he eventually summoned Gamabunta, the gigantic and intimidating chief toad. Though Gamabunta was reluctant to acknowledge him, Naruto's courage and stubbornness won the toad's respect. Meanwhile, Sasuke trained under Kakashi, honing his Sharingan and developing his signature move, the Chidori, a high-speed thrust of lightning chakra capable of piercing through anything. Sakura, feeling left behind, realized she needed to become stronger, but struggled to find her own path. As the finals approached, the village prepared for the grand event. Crowds from every land gathered to watch the battles, including powerful figures from other villages. Hidden among them were conspirators, planning something far more sinister than a mere tournament. Naruto walked into the arena with a new sense of determination. He was still clumsy, still underestimated by many, but he was ready to prove to everyone, most of all himself, that he was not just the boy with the demon fox, but a ninja who would carve his own destiny. The day of the finals arrived. The arena was packed with spectators from across the ninja world, banners fluttering in the breeze, anticipation thick in the air. Naruto stood nervously among the other finalists, glancing at his opponents. He knew Sasuke would arrive late. His training with Kakashi had taken longer than expected, but Naruto's own first match would be against Neji Hyuga, a genius prodigy from the prestigious Hyuga clan. Before the match, Neji confronted Naruto with cold, piercing eyes. He explained his belief in fate, insisting that people are born with unchangeable destinies. As a member of the branch family, Neji had suffered under the clan's rigid hierarchy, yet he believed no one could escape their predetermined path. Naruto, who had lived his whole life fighting against the stigma of being the Nine Tails host, refused to accept that. He declared he would create his own destiny. Their fight began swiftly. Neji's Byakugan allowed him to see chakra points throughout the body, and his gentle fist technique shut down Naruto's chakra network with pinpoint precision. Naruto was battered, unable to use his chakra, and everyone in the crowd thought the match was over. But deep within, Naruto's resolve burned hotter than ever. Drawing on the Nine Tails chakra, his wounds healed, his strength surged, and he charged with renewed vigor. In a desperate move, Naruto burrowed underground and launched a surprise attack from beneath Neji's feet, landing a powerful punch that knocked the Hyuga prodigy unconscious. The crowd was stunned. Naruto, the so-called failure, had defeated a genius. Looking at Neji afterward, Naruto told him that destiny wasn't something set in stone, planting the first seeds of change in Neji's heart. Meanwhile, Sasuke finally arrived for his highly anticipated match against Gaara. Their fight was electrifying, literally. Sasuke, faster and stronger than before thanks to Kakashi's training, pierced through Gaara's sand defenses with his Chidori. For the first time, Gaara bled. This enraged the unstable boy, and the sand monster within him began to emerge, transforming Gaara into a terrifying half-beast. Before the match could conclude, chaos erupted. Hidden Leaf Village was suddenly attacked. Genjutsu cascaded over the audience, putting many to sleep. Sand and Sound Ninja invaded in a coordinated assault. Above the arena, the Hokage, Hiruzen Sarutobi, was confronted by his former student, Orochimaru. The snake-like traitor trapped the third Hokage within a barrier, initiating a deadly battle atop the rooftops. Outside, Naruto and the others scrambled to defend the village. Sasuke chased Gaara, who fled into the forest, his transformation spiraling out of control. Naruto and Sakura followed, determined to catch up. Deep in the woods, Gaara fully succumbed to his inner demon, transforming into Shukaku, the one-tailed beast. His sand form grew monstrous, dwarfing the trees, and his voice shifted into a distorted, otherworldly tone. Sasuke fought bravely, but was no match for Gaara's full power. Exhausted and wounded, he collapsed. Sakura was captured by Gaara's sand, pinned helplessly against a tree. Just as Gaara prepared to crush her, Naruto stepped forward, trembling but resolute. He couldn't let his friends die. Despite being terrified, he summoned his courage and called forth Gamabunta, the giant toad chief. Gamabunta towered over the battlefield, clashing with Shukaku in a titanic battle that shook the forest. To counter Gaara's full possession, Naruto and Gamabunta worked together. Naruto transformed Gamabunta into a massive Nine-Tails replica, biting Gaara to wake him from his possessed state. The battle ended with both boys lying exhausted. In that moment, Naruto saw Gaara's pain, how isolation and hatred had twisted him. Naruto told him he understood his loneliness, but he had chosen to fight for others instead of succumbing to hatred. Gaara, shaken to his core, began questioning his existence and the path he had taken. Meanwhile, on the rooftop of the village, the third Hokage faced Orochimaru in a brutal battle of wills. Orochimaru summoned the previous Hokage with a forbidden jutsu, forcing Hiruzen to fight his own predecessors. Despite his old age, the third fought valiantly, summoning Enma, the Monkey King, to aid him. As the fight dragged on, Hiruzen realized he could not defeat Orochimaru outright. In a final act of sacrifice, he performed the Reaper Death Seal, calling upon a spectral entity that could steal the soul of its victim. Hiruzen successfully sealed away Orochimaru's arms, rendering him unable to perform jutsu, but the cost was his own life. As the Shinigami consumed his soul, the third Hokage looked over his village one last time with pride. Orochimaru screamed in rage, losing the use of his arms permanently. The barrier fell, and the Leaf Ninja rushed to their Hokage's side, but it was too late. Hiruzen died with a serene smile, leaving the village mourning yet again. In the aftermath of the invasion, the Hidden Leaf Village lay in ruins. Many shinobi had fallen. Naruto stood quietly among the destruction, feeling the weight of what it truly meant to be a ninja. The funeral for the third Hokage was a somber affair. Black-clad villagers lined the streets,
honoring the man who had protected them for so long. But even in mourning, life in the village had to continue. The elders began discussing who would become the next Hokage. Jiraiya was the obvious candidate, but he refused, suggesting someone else, his former teammate Tsunade, the legendary medical ninja. He decided to search for her, and in the process, take Naruto along. Naruto, still reeling from the events of the invasion and eager to grow stronger, agreed. This journey would change Naruto's life. Along the way, they would encounter new allies, powerful enemies, and the deeper truths about the Akatsuki, the mysterious organization hunting tailed beasts. But before leaving, Sasuke's heart began to darken. Humiliated by his inability to defeat Itachi, his older brother who had massacred their clan, Sasuke felt consumed by a desire for revenge. The defeat against Gaara, the glimpse of Naruto's growing strength, it all gnawed at him. Orochimaru's promise of power echoed in his mind. The seeds of betrayal were quietly taking root. Naruto set out on his journey with Jiraiya, leaving the hidden leaf behind for a time. As they traveled, Jiraiya began teaching Naruto the Rasengan, a powerful spiraling sphere of chakra created by the fourth Hokage. At first, Naruto struggled with the technique. It required incredible chakra control and precision, two things Naruto wasn't known for. Jiraiya broke the training into 3 steps. First, rotating the chakra, then increasing its power, and finally containing it in a perfect sphere. Naruto's unorthodox methods, including using a water balloon and rubber ball to simulate the rotations, slowly helped him grasp the basics. Meanwhile, the Akatsuki, an organization of rogue ninja with unknown motives, began to move in the shadows. 2 of its members, Itachi Uchiha and Kisame Hoshigaki, infiltrated the Leaf Village searching for Naruto. Itachi, Sasuke's older brother, was a calm, cold genius with eyes that carried the terrifying Mangekyo Sharingan. Kisame, a towering man with shark-like features, wielded Samehada, a massive sword that could absorb chakra. Sasuke, still recovering from the invasion, unexpectedly encountered Itachi in a dark corridor. The moment he saw his brother, all of Sasuke's childhood trauma flooded back. The night of the Uchiha massacre, the horror of seeing his parents lying lifeless, and Itachi's cold words that haunted him ever since. If you want to kill me, hate me, despise me, and survive in an unsightly way, run. Run and cling to your pitiful life. Sasuke attacked in a frenzy, but Itachi effortlessly dismantled him, trapping him in the Tsukuyomi, a genjutsu that tortured Sasuke for what felt like days in a mere instant. Broken and humiliated, Sasuke collapsed. Itachi didn't kill Sasuke. He simply left him alive, reinforcing the despair that drove Sasuke's need for power. Itachi and Kisame then pursued Naruto, but Jiraiya intervened, forcing them to retreat. Before leaving, Itachi warned his partner that confronting Jiraiya would be unwise. Naruto, confused and alarmed, now knew he was being hunted by dangerous enemies he didn't even understand. Jiraiya and Naruto continued their journey, eventually finding Tsunade in a small town. Tsunade, the legendary medical ninja, was a beautiful but deeply cynical woman who had suffered great personal loss. She had lost both her younger brother Noaki and her lover Dan, both of whom had dreamed of becoming Hokage. These tragedies left her bitter and distrustful of the title, believing it only led to death and heartbreak. When Jiraiya and Naruto approached her with the offer to return and become the 5th Hokage, she laughed and dismissed it as foolish. Naruto, enraged by her disrespect toward the title of Hokage, challenged her to a fight. Amused by his fiery spirit, Tsunade made a wager. If Naruto could master the Rasengan within a week, she would hand over her treasured first Hokage necklace, an heirloom said to bring bad luck to its wearer. Determined, Naruto threw himself into the training with all his heart. Though he struggled, his sheer willpower and ingenuity impressed Tsunade. Meanwhile, Orochimaru and his loyal follower Kabuto approached Tsunade in secret. Orochimaru, still crippled from losing his arms to the third Hokage's sealing technique, offered Tsunade a cruel deal. If she healed his arms, he would resurrect her brother and lover using forbidden jutsu. Torn between her hatred for Orochimaru and her aching desire to see her loved ones again, Tsunade hesitated. But deep down, she knew Orochimaru's promises were hollow. Eventually, Tsunade refused, realizing that helping Orochimaru would only lead to more death. Orochimaru, angered, ordered Kabuto to kill her. Naruto, arriving at the scene, faced Kabuto in a desperate battle. Though Kabuto was a highly skilled medical ninja who could target muscles and nerves with precision, Naruto fought with reckless determination. When Kabuto fatally injured Naruto's chest, Tsunade's heart wavered. She saw Nawaki in Naruto, the same smile, the same dream of becoming Hokage. Naruto, half-conscious, finally mastered the Rasengan in that moment of crisis, striking Kabuto with a spiraling sphere of chakra that sent him flying. Though it didn't completely incapacitate him, it was a decisive blow. Tsunade, moved by Naruto's unwavering resolve, stepped in. She fought Orochimaru with incredible strength, shattering the ground with her monstrous punches. Jiraiya joined the battle despite being drugged earlier by Tsunade as a test, and together they clashed with Orochimaru and Kabuto. In the midst of the chaos, Tsunade made her choice. She vowed to protect Naruto and the village, overcoming her fear of blood, which had haunted her for years since the loss of her loved ones. With her newfound resolve, she unleashed her full strength, summoning the giant slug Katsuyu to counter Orochimaru's Manda and Jiraiya's Gamabunta. The clash of legendary summons shook the battlefield. Orochimaru, realizing he was at a disadvantage without his arms and unable to overpower Tsunade, retreated with Kabuto. Before leaving, he hissed a warning to Sasuke in absentia, knowing the boy would soon seek him out for power. After the battle, Tsunade healed Naruto, who was lying unconscious, with a faint smile on his face. She looked at him and saw not only Nawaki and Dan, but also the hope of the village. She placed the first Hokage's necklace around Naruto's neck, acknowledging his dream. She returned to the Leaf Village with Jiraiya and Naruto, accepting the mantle of 5th Hokage. Back in the village, Tsunade quickly asserted herself, healing the injured and rebuilding what had been lost. She visited Rock Lee, who had been left crippled after his fight with Gaara. The surgery to restore his ability to fight carried a high risk of failure, but Lee chose to undergo it, driven by his unbreakable spirit. Meanwhile, Sasuke's bitterness deepened. He watched Naruto return stronger, gaining recognition and new techniques. The memory of his humiliating encounter with Itachi replayed in his mind over and over. Jealousy and despair gnawed at him, until he could no longer ignore Orochimaru's offer of power. 4 elite sound ninja arrived in the village to escort Sasuke, whispering promises of strength beyond anything the leaf could give him. One quiet night, Sasuke left the village. He left behind only a fading image of himself on the rooftop, staring at Naruto before disappearing into the darkness. His path to revenge had begun. When news of Sasuke's defection reached Tsunade, she ordered a retrieval team to pursue him. Naruto, desperate to save his friend, joined the mission alongside Shikamaru, Neji, Kiba, and Choji. They raced after Sasuke, knowing Orochimaru's forces would not make it easy. What awaited them on that journey were battles that would test their bonds, their bodies, and their resolve. The Sasuke retrieval mission began with a quiet but heavy tension. Shikamaru, the newly promoted Chunin, was put in charge of the team. Though he complained it was troublesome, he understood the weight of the mission, bringing back their friend before Orochimaru claimed him forever. Alongside him were Naruto, Neji, Kiba with his loyal dog Akamaru, and Choji. They tracked Sasuke's trail into the dense forests outside the village, but it wasn't long before they encountered the elite Sound Four, Orochimaru's personal bodyguards. The Sound Four were each cursed seal users, loyal to Orochimaru and brutally powerful. Realizing they couldn't fight together as one group, the Leaf Team had to split up, each member staying behind to hold off an enemy while the rest pushed forward. The first to stay behind was Choji. His opponent was Jirobo, a massive brute with crushing strength, who mocked Choji as the weakest of the Leaf Team. Though frightened, Choji revealed hidden depths of courage. He consumed his clan's secret food pills, each one enhancing his strength drastically. With the first 2 pills, he grew stronger and larger, pushing Jirobo back. But it wasn't enough. Finally, Choji took the third and most dangerous pill, the red chili pill, which increased his chakra 100-fold but at the cost of his life force. His body transformed, enveloped in a fiery red aura as butterfly-shaped wings of pure chakra unfurled behind him. With one final, devastating blow, Choji obliterated Jirobo. As the dust settled, he looked at a photograph of his friends and smiled faintly, then collapsed in silence, unsure if he'd survive. The others pressed on, but soon Kiba and Akamaru were forced to stop when they encountered Sakon and Yukon, twin brothers who shared the same body and could literally merge with their enemies. They fought brutally in close quarters, and Kiba used all his tricks, including his beast-human clone technique, turning Akamaru into his double. Together, they became a spinning whirlwind of claws and fangs, but the twins' cursed seal forms overwhelmed them. Desperate, Kiba stabbed himself with a kunai to wound the twin hiding inside his body, forcing Ukon out. He and Akamaru narrowly survived by diving off a cliff into a river below, buying just enough time to escape. Further along, Neji faced Kidomaru, the spider-like sound ninja. Kidomaru attacked from a distance with deadly precision, using spider silk to trap Neji and pinpointing his blind spot, the one flaw in the Byakugan. Neji was pushed to his absolute limits, bleeding and immobilized, but his resolve was unshakable. He remembered Naruto's words during their Chunin exam fight about creating his own destiny. In a final brilliant maneuver, Neji allowed Kidomaru to shoot a lethal arrow, then rotated his body so the arrow would strike a non-vital point. Using that split second, he released all his chakra in a precise, gentle fist strike, severing Kidomaru's internal chakra network. As Kidomaru fell, Neji collapsed as well, gravely injured, but alive. Shikamaru and Naruto pressed on with the coffin, carrying Sasuke's unconscious body. But they were ambushed by Tayuya, who used genjutsu and a flute to control massive spectral demons. Shikamaru, though outmatched in raw power, used his razor-sharp intellect and shadow possession jutsu to outmaneuver her illusions. Just when it seemed he would be overwhelmed, reinforcements from the sand arrived. Temari stepped in, using her giant fan to unleash a tornado-like wind that obliterated Tayuya's demons and forced her retreat. Meanwhile, Naruto continued the chase and finally reached the final guardian, Kimimaro, Orochimaru's most loyal servant. Kimimaro was frail and dying from an incurable illness, but his devotion to Orochimaru gave him terrifying strength. He possessed the Kaguya clan's unique ability to manipulate his bones as weapons, turning his own body into an indestructible arsenal. Naruto fought him with countless shadow clones, but Kimimaro danced through them effortlessly, piercing and slashing with bone spikes. Before Kimimaro could finish Naruto, Rock Lee appeared, freshly recovered from his risky surgery. Lee fought valiantly, even drinking from a bottle he mistakenly believed was medicine, only to discover it was sake. Drunken Fist Rock Lee was unpredictable and wild, giving Kimimaro a surprising challenge. But even in his drunken state, Lee couldn't defeat him. Eventually, Gaara arrived, sent by the sand as an ally. Gaara's sand shielded Lee and countered Kimimara's attacks. Kimimaro revealed his cursed seal's second stage, transforming into a monstrous figure. He launched his ultimate technique, creating a vast forest of sharpened bones erupting from the ground in every direction. Gaara and Lee were trapped with no escape. But just as the killing blow would have fallen, Kimimaro stopped mid-strike. His illness finally claimed his life. He died standing, dreaming of seeing Orochimaru's vision fulfilled.
While all these battles raged, Naruto finally reached Sasuke, who had awakened and emerged from the coffin. Sasuke's demeanor was cold, his eyes filled with new purpose. He explained that he was leaving to gain power from Orochimaru, convinced that this was the only way to kill Itachi. Naruto pleaded with him to return, but Sasuke refused, saying that their bond was not enough. The two clashed at the Valley of the End, a legendary site where two great shinobi, Hashirama Senju and Madara Uchiha, had fought long ago. The statues of these titans loomed over the roaring waterfall as Naruto and Sasuke faced off. Their battle was brutal and emotional. Naruto used all his shadow clones, the Rasengan, and even tapped deeper into the Nine-Tails chakra. Sasuke awakened his cursed seal's second stage, his body transforming with dark wing-like appendages, his speed and power increasing beyond anything Naruto had seen. The clash of Rasengan and Chidori echoed through the valley, tearing the ground apart. As they fought, flashes of their past moments together played in their minds. The days as teammates, their laughter, their rivalry, and the unspoken bond they shared. Naruto declared he would never let Sasuke go, even if it killed him. Sasuke, tears hidden behind his rage, said he was severing their bond to gain the strength he needed. In the final moments, Sasuke refused to kill Naruto. Instead of striking his heart, he let his Chidori graze Naruto's forehead protector, leaving a scar as a final sign of their broken friendship. He whispered that he didn't want to follow Itachi's path by killing his closest friend. Then he turned and walked away into the darkness, leaving Naruto lying unconscious on the shattered ground. Kakashi arrived too late. He carried Naruto back to the village where Tsunade tended to his wounds. The mission was deemed a failure. Naruto lay in the hospital bed, staring at the ceiling with silent tears, vowing he would never give up on Sasuke. Not long after, Jiraiya visited Naruto, telling him they needed to leave the village to train and prepare for the dangers ahead. The Akatsuki were moving, Orochimaru still plotted in the shadows, and Sasuke's path was growing darker. Naruto, still determined to save his friend, agreed. With a final look at the village he called home, Naruto set off on a new journey with Jiraiya, ready to face the challenges that awaited him in the years to come. This marked the end of Naruto's story as a boy, and the beginning of his growth into something greater. 2.5 years passed. Naruto trained tirelessly under Jiraiya, traveling across the lands to learn new techniques, gain better control over the Nine-Tails chakra, and sharpen his skills for the battles ahead. He endured harsh environments, grueling sparring sessions, and lessons about the wider shinobi world. His dream to bring Sasuke back never faded, and the bond with his former teammates remained in his heart, fueling his determination. When Naruto finally returned to the Hidden Leaf Village, he was taller, more mature, but still carried the same loud, energetic spirit. He reunited with Sakura, who had trained under Tsunade and become a skilled medical ninja and a fierce fighter. Seeing her strength surprised Naruto. She could now shatter boulders with a single punch, a testament to her intense training. The reunion was warm, but brief. A new threat loomed on the horizon. The Akatsuki were moving openly now. Their goal was clear: to capture all the tailed beasts sealed inside human hosts, the Jinchuriki. Naruto, being the Nine-Tails host, was a prime target. News arrived from the Sand Village that Gaara, now the Kazekage, had been attacked.
Akatsuki members Deidara and Sasori infiltrated the sand, defeating Gaara in a fierce battle. Despite Gaara's immense power controlling sand, Deidara's explosive clay overwhelmed him, leaving the young Kazekage unconscious. Akatsuki abducted Gaara, intending to extract Shukaku, the one-tailed beast, from his body. Tsunade immediately sent a team, Naruto, Sakura, and their new teammate Sai, under the command of Kakashi, to rescue Gaara. They were joined by Lady Chiyo, an elder from the sand who had a personal history with Sasori. Together, they tracked the Akatsuki to their hideout. Inside, Naruto's group faced a deadly battle. Sakura and Chiyo confronted Sasori of the Red Sand, a master puppeteer who had transformed his own body into a puppet. The fight was intense and emotionally charged. Sasori used his parents' puppets to attack, revealing the twisted depth of his obsession. Sakura, guided by Chiyo's experience, dodged precise strikes and unleashed her monstrous strength, shattering puppets piece by piece. Chiyo used chakra threads to support Sakura's movements, turning the tide of battle. Sasori unleashed his ultimate weapon, the puppet of the third Kazekage, famous for its deadly iron sand techniques. The room filled with black clouds of magnetized sand, slicing through everything. Sakura barely survived by using antidotes and her precise chakra control to neutralize the poison. In a desperate gamble, Chiyo revealed her secret technique, the 10-puppet collection of Chikamatsu, facing Sasori's 100-puppet army. The clash of puppets filled the room with whirling blades and clashing wood. In the end, Sakura managed to create an opening, and Chiyo struck the final blow with 2 puppets that resembled Sasori's parents, piercing his heart. As he lay dying, Sasori revealed a hidden path to meet a spy in Orochimaru's ranks, hinting that there was still a way to find Sasuke. Meanwhile, Naruto and Kakashi pursued Deidara, who fled with Gaara's body. Naruto, enraged at the thought of losing his friend, unleashed the Nine-Tails chakra, his aura burning violently. His speed and power became monstrous, forcing Deidara to retreat with explosive decoys. By the time they reached Gaara, it was too late. The Akatsuki had extracted Shukaku, killing him in the process. Naruto knelt beside Gaara's lifeless body, devastated. He understood Gaara's pain better than anyone, and seeing his friend die this way tore at him. But Lady Chiyo, moved by Naruto's determination and compassion, used a forbidden technique to revive Gaara at the cost of her own life. In her final moments, she told Naruto that the future lay in the hands of the new generation. Gaara awoke, reborn and freed from the burden of his tailed beast. The Sand Village welcomed Naruto as a hero for saving their Kazekage. After returning to the Leaf, Naruto learned of the spy Sasori mentioned. Team Kakashi prepared for their next mission to infiltrate Orochimaru's network and find Sasuke. They were joined by a new captain, Yamato, who possessed the rare ability to suppress the Nine-Tails chakra using the first Hokage's cells. They met with the spy at the Tenchi Bridge, but it turned out to be a trap. The spy was Kabuto, who revealed Orochimaru's presence. Orochimaru appeared, taunting Naruto and mentioning Sasuke's growing strength. Enraged, Naruto lost control, releasing a dangerous 4-tailed form of the Nine-Tails. His skin burned away, replaced by bubbling red chakra shaped like a monstrous fox. His power was devastating, tearing apart the landscape. Orochimaru, amused, tested Naruto's strength, exchanging massive jutsu and summoning snakes to combat him. But Naruto's feral chakra overwhelmed everything, forcing Yamato to intervene. Using the first Hokage's wood release, Yamato subdued the beastly chakra and sealed it back inside Naruto. Exhausted and injured, Naruto collapsed. Later, they discovered Sasuke's location within Orochimaru's lair. Naruto and his team infiltrated the hideout, finally coming face to face with Sasuke for the first time in years. But Sasuke was no longer the same boy they remembered. His eyes were colder, his power overwhelming. He wielded his Chidori like a blade and moved with precision that outmatched all of them. Naruto tried to reach Sasuke with words, reminding him of their bond and the times they shared. But Sasuke rejected him, declaring he had chosen darkness. In a chilling moment, Sasuke unleashed his newly acquired power, demonstrating that even without Orochimaru's help, he had grown far beyond their level. He summoned a massive lightning technique, Kirin, and prepared to end the confrontation. But Orochimaru appeared and convinced Sasuke to leave, saying it wasn't time yet. As they vanished, Naruto stood frozen, feeling both anger and sorrow. Despite everything, he vowed again he would never give up on Sasuke, no matter how far he fell. Meanwhile, the Akatsuki continued their hunt, capturing more Jinchuriki. The storm was building. Their leader remained shrouded in mystery, but his plan to gather all tailed beasts was nearing fruition. The entire shinobi world would soon be drawn into conflict, unlike anything they had seen before. Back in the Leaf Village, Tsunade began preparing for the inevitable battles ahead. Naruto trained harder, realizing he needed greater power to protect his friends and the village. Jiraiya warned him that the Akatsuki's true leader was someone far more dangerous than Orochimaru. The shadow of war was growing, and Naruto's journey was only becoming darker and more painful. The tension in the shinobi world escalated as the Akatsuki moved more aggressively. Their members hunted Jinchuriki one by one, leaving destruction in their wake. In the Hidden Leaf, the focus shifted to gathering intel on Akatsuki movements. Team Asuma, composed of Asuma Sarutobi, Shikamaru Nara, Ino Yamanaka, and Choji Akimichi, was dispatched on reconnaissance missions. Two new Akatsuki members made their presence known. Hidan, a sadistic zealot who worshipped a death god and could not die, and Kakuzu, a centuries-old bounty hunter whose body was stitched together with black tendrils, allowing him to steal and use multiple hearts. Hidan's scythe dripped with malice as he chanted prayers, while Kakuzu fought coldly, motivated only by money. Team Asuma confronted Hidan and Kakuzu in a forest clearing. The battle was brutal. Asuma clashed fiercely with Hidan, using his wind chakra-imbued blades to gain the upper hand. But Hidan's true ability was horrifying. Through a ritual, he could link his body to his opponents, making any damage he inflicted on himself reflect onto them. Asuma landed a seemingly fatal blow, but Hidan laughed and drew a circle of blood on the ground. Standing inside it, he stabbed himself in the chest with his spear, and Asuma's chest bled in the exact same spot. Realizing too late what was happening, Asuma collapsed, mortally wounded. The team fought desperately to save him, but Hidan finished the ritual, killing him before their eyes. Kakuzu dragged Hidan away calmly, leaving the Leaf team broken. Asuma, gasping for breath, spoke his final words to his students. He told Shikamaru to protect the king, hinting at something greater than himself. Shikamaru, struggling to hold back tears, clutched Asuma's hand as his mentor's life slipped away. The loss hit the village hard. At Asuma's funeral, the autumn wind blew softly, carrying the grief of his comrades. Kurenai, who was secretly expecting Asuma's child, silently wept. Shikamaru, known for his lazy demeanor, was changed forever by his teacher's death. He took command of a new mission to hunt down Hidan and Kakuzu, leading Ino, Choji, and Kakashi. Shikamaru devised an intricate strategy, using his shadow possession jutsu to trap Hidan inside a special area prepared with explosive tags. In a tense battle of wits, he manipulated Hidan into completing his own ritual in a false circle. As Hidan cursed and raged, Shikamaru triggered the trap, burying him alive in a deep forest pit and sealing it with explosives. Hidan, immortal but helpless, was left screaming underground, unable to escape. Meanwhile, Kakashi fought Kakuzu, who revealed his monstrous ability to detach his elemental hearts as masked creatures. Each heart allowed Kakuzu to use a different elemental nature, making him a one-man army. Kakashi fought skillfully, but it was Naruto who arrived in time to deliver the finishing blow. Naruto had trained tirelessly to develop a new technique, under Kakashi and Yamato's guidance. Combining his wind chakra nature with the Rasengan, he created the Rasen Shuriken, a massive spinning shuriken of pure chakra that tore apart everything on a microscopic level. With one strike, Naruto destroyed Kakuzu's last hearts. Though the attack also damaged Naruto's own arm due to its destructive nature, the victory signaled his growth. The village saw that Naruto was no longer just the loud, clumsy boy. He was becoming a powerful shinobi in his own right.
But even as they celebrated small victories, the shadow of Akatsuki grew darker. Their true leader finally stepped forward. His name was Pain, a man with strange Rinnegan eyes who claimed to be a god, destined to bring peace through suffering. Pain was gathering all the tailed beasts to create a weapon powerful enough to force the world into submission. Pain's presence loomed over another tragedy. Jiraiya, Naruto's mentor, set out alone to investigate the Akatsuki's leader in the Hidden Rain Village. He infiltrated the heavily guarded city, confronting Pain's 6 mysterious bodies, each one sharing the same Rinnegan eyes and connected as if they were one entity. Jiraiya fought valiantly, summoning massive toads and unleashing Sage Mode, enhancing his speed and strength. He managed to defeat several of Pain's bodies, but when all 6 appeared together, the truth dawned on him. Pain was not a single person, but many. In his final moments, Jiraiya realized Pain was actually his former student Nagato, a boy who once dreamed of peace. Though mortally wounded, Jiraiya carved a message on Fukasaku, the toad's back, to warn Konoha. The real one is not among them. Jiraiya sank into the depths of the Rain Village's waters with a faint smile, his life ending in quiet resolve. When news of Jiraiya's death reached Naruto, he was shattered. The man who had been like a father to him was gone. Naruto isolated himself in grief, clutching the necklace Tsunade had once given him. Fukasaku, the Sage Toad, told Naruto there was still hope. He could learn Sage Mode, the ancient art that Jiraiya had mastered. Naruto agreed, determined to honor his master's legacy and gain the strength to protect his village. While Naruto trained at Mount Myoboku, Pain moved. He launched a full-scale assault on the Hidden Leaf Village. The 6 paths of Pain descended like harbingers of doom, obliterating everything in their way. Buildings crumbled under devastating Shinra Tensei blasts. Ninja and civilians alike were cut down. Tsunade fought to heal and protect the villagers, depleting her chakra to its limit. In a single cataclysmic attack, Pain leveled the entire village, leaving it in ruins. In the midst of the destruction, Naruto returned, clad in a new cloak lined with sage markings and accompanied by giant toads. He descended into the ruined village like a beacon of hope. Seeing the devastation fueled his resolve. Facing the 6 paths of Pain, Naruto declared he would defeat them and find the answer to true peace. The battle began. Naruto's Sage Mode gave him incredible power and perception, allowing him to counter Pain's gravity manipulation and summonings. One by one, he dismantled the paths, using clever tactics and raw strength. But Pain was relentless, his Deva path unleashing crushing force with each attack. In the final moments of their clash, Naruto confronted Pain's true self, Nagato, hidden in a mechanical, spider-like contraption deep in the forest. He was a gaunt, fragile man, consumed by pain and hatred, but still clinging to the ideals Jiraiya once taught him. Naruto listened, refusing to answer hatred with hatred. Instead, he chose Jiraiya's path of trying to understand others, even his enemies. Naruto's words moved Nagato. Remembering Jiraiya's dream of peace, Nagato used his remaining strength to revive everyone who had died in the village, sacrificing his own life in the process. As his body fell silent, Naruto gently closed Nagato's eyes, ending the cycle of hatred for one man. Naruto returned to the village as a hero. The villagers, who once looked at him with suspicion, now lifted him on their shoulders, chanting his name. For the first time in his life, Naruto felt truly acknowledged by everyone. But the war was not over. In the shadows, Madara Uchiha, the true mastermind behind Akatsuki, began putting his ultimate plan into motion. The Eye of the Moon plan, a scheme to cast an infinite illusion over the entire world. The next stage of conflict would engulf all nations, and Naruto's path toward becoming a true leader was only beginning. While Naruto was celebrated as a hero in the Leaf, far away, Sasuke walked deeper into the darkness. His training with Orochimaru had made him immensely powerful, but Sasuke knew Orochimaru intended to take over his body as a vessel. In a decisive moment, Sasuke turned on his master. With cold precision, he struck Orochimaru down in his weakened state, absorbing his power and freeing himself from the snake's grasp. With Orochimaru gone, Sasuke formed a team of his own called Hebi. He recruited Karing, a sensory-type kunoichi who could heal by letting others bite her. Sugetsu, a swordsman seeking the legendary blades of the hidden mist. And Jugo, a man with uncontrollable rage linked to the cursed seal's origin. Together, they had one goal: to find and kill Itachi Uchiha. Meanwhile, Akatsuki continued their hunt for Jinchuriki. Deidara, still obsessed with proving his art superior, tracked down Sasuke for revenge after losing to Naruto. In a fierce battle, Deidara unleashed his explosive clay bombs, even creating a massive C4 bomb that could disintegrate cells. Sasuke narrowly survived using genjutsu and quick thinking. In a final act of defiance, Deidara detonated himself in a massive explosion, but Sasuke escaped riding one of Orochimaru's snakes. Eventually, Sasuke located Itachi. Their long-awaited confrontation took place in a dark, silent hideout, filled with years of hatred and unanswered questions. The brothers faced each other with calm, chilling intensity. Sasuke unleashed everything he had: Chidori variations, shuriken storms, and the cursed seal's power. Itachi countered with his Mangekyo Sharingan, trapping Sasuke in Tsukuyomi illusions and defending with Susanoo's spectral armor. As the fight escalated, Itachi revealed Amaterasu, black flames that could burn anything, and Sasuke countered with his strongest technique, Kirin. Manipulating the natural lightning in the clouds, Sasuke brought down a massive bolt of lightning that obliterated the entire building. For a moment, he believed he had won. But Itachi emerged from the rubble, still alive, cloaked in Susanoo's ultimate defense. In the final moment, Itachi staggered towards Sasuke. His fingers reached out gently and poked Sasuke on the forehead. The same affectionate gesture from their childhood. Then Itachi collapsed, lifeless. Sasuke stood there, confused, exhausted, and hollow. He had achieved his revenge, yet something felt wrong. It was only later that the truth unraveled. Tobi, the masked man claiming to be Madara Uchiha, revealed the reality of the Uchiha massacre. Itachi had never been a villain. He was ordered by the Leaf's elders to eliminate the Uchiha clan, who were planning a coup against the village. Itachi spared only Sasuke, choosing to bear the hatred and shame to protect his little brother and prevent a civil war. His entire life had been one of sacrifice and silent love. The truth shattered Sasuke. His hatred shifted from Itachi to the Leaf Village itself. Believing the village had betrayed both him and his brother, Sasuke vowed to destroy Konoha and everyone responsible for the massacre. He renamed his team Taka, aligning himself with Akatsuki temporarily to gain more power and resources. Meanwhile,
Akatsuki moved to capture more Jinchuriki. They succeeded in capturing Killer Bee, the host of the 8 tails from the hidden cloud. Or so they thought. Killer Bee had faked his capture, cleverly escaping while leaving a tentacle clone behind. He disappeared to pursue his dream of becoming a rapper, causing chaos in the Cloud Village as his brother, the Raikage, raged over the situation. Back in the Leaf, Naruto continued to grow. He began training with Fukasaku to master Sage Mode fully. The training pushed his limits, teaching him to balance natural energy with his own chakra to achieve a perfect state of heightened senses, speed, and strength. Naruto's connection with the natural world deepened, giving him a serene but devastating power. But peace was short-lived. Pain, the leader of Akatsuki, descended upon the Leaf Village personally. His 6 paths spread across Konoha like locusts, destroying everything. Buildings fell, streets crumbled, and countless shinobi died trying to defend their home. Tsunade used all her strength to heal as many villagers as she could, but when Pain unleashed his ultimate Shinra Tensei, the entire Hidden Leaf Village was flattened in a single catastrophic blast. In the ruins, Pain confronted Tsunade and demanded Naruto's location. Refusing to give in, she collapsed from exhaustion, leaving the village on the brink of despair. But at the moment of their darkest hour, Naruto returned in full Sage Mode, landing atop the debris with the massive toads of Mount Myaboku. The villagers, beaten and broken, saw their hero arrive like a beacon of hope. Naruto fought the 6 paths of pain with incredible strategy and power. Using Sage Mode's sensory abilities, he dodged attacks and countered with massive Rasen Shuriken. One by one, he dismantled the paths, showing how far he had come. When his Sage Chakra ran out, he even tapped into the Nine Tails' power reluctantly. In the final moments, Naruto managed to destroy all 6 bodies, leaving only the original hidden controller, Nagato. He followed the chakra trail to a hidden location in the forest, where Nagato sat, emaciated inside a mechanical pod, his body twisted by years of suffering. There, Naruto listened to Nagato's story. He learned about Yahiko, Nagato's childhood friend, and their dream of creating peace in the war-torn Rain Village. He saw how their idealism was shattered by betrayal and violence, leading Nagato down a path of despair and the belief that only pain could bring true peace. Naruto, instead of killing Nagato, chose to forgive and understand him. He vowed to find a different path, one where hatred could be broken. Moved by Naruto's words, the same ideals their master Jiraiya had believed in, Nagato made his final decision. Using the last of his life force, he performed the Rinni rebirth, reviving everyone who had died in the Leaf Village. His body fell silent as he entrusted his dream to Naruto. When Naruto returned, the villagers gathered around him, cheering his name. For the first time, they didn't see him as the boy with the demon fox. They saw him as their true hero. But the cycle of conflict continued. Sasuke, now driven by his vendetta against Konoha, attacked the 5-Cage summit, declaring war on the entire shinobi world. His descent into darkness reached its peak when he confronted the Kage and their bodyguards, revealing his hatred and willingness to destroy anyone in his path. In the shadows, the true mastermind, Tobi, revealing himself as Obito Uchiha, unveiled his plan, the Eye of the Moon Project. By gathering all the tailed beasts and reviving the 10 tails, he intended to cast an infinite Tsukuyomi, an illusion over the entire world, trapping all humanity in a dream of false peace. To achieve this, he declared the 4th Great Ninja War. The shinobi world had no choice. The 5 great nations, long divided, formed the allied shinobi forces. Old enemies became allies. Naruto was placed under protection, but he refused to sit idly by. He trained harder than ever, learning to cooperate with the Nine Tails chakra. Slowly, He and Kurama began to build a mutual respect, bridging the gap between host and beast. On the battlefield, war erupted. Thousands of ninja clashed. The reanimation jutsu was unleashed, resurrecting legendary shinobi from history. Powerful warriors like the previous Kage, the Seven Swordsmen of the Mist, and even long-dead Akatsuki members. The world was engulfed in chaos, and the true power of Madara Uchiha was about to be unleashed. The Fourth Great Ninja War raged across the continent. The allied shinobi forces, formed from the 5 great nations, faced the overwhelming might of Kabuto Yakushi, who had mastered Orochimaru's forbidden Edo Tensei reanimation jutsu. Kabuto resurrected an army of legendary warriors from the past, forcing the allied shinobi to fight against their own heroes and mentors. On the front lines, Naruto refused to stay hidden. He sensed the immense suffering on the battlefield and pushed past the barriers meant to keep him safe. He entered Sage Mode, using the immense sensory range to detect the emotions of every fighter across the warfront. Joined by Killer Bee, the Eight-Tails Jinchuriki, Naruto confronted the reanimated Jinchuriki controlled by Tobi. During these battles, Naruto began forging a deeper bond with Kurama, the Nine-Tails. Once only a beast of hatred, Kurama saw Naruto's unwavering heart and his refusal to give in to despair. Naruto reminded the fox of his parents' sacrifices and the way they had believed in him. Slowly, the walls between them cracked. When Naruto risked his life to protect others even from inside his own subconscious, Kurama extended his fist, a silent gesture of acceptance. For the first time, host and beast became true partners. With their full partnership, Naruto unlocked a new form, Kurama Chakra Mode. His body was cloaked in a golden aura, swirling with the fox's chakra, enhancing his speed and power beyond anything seen before. This transformation allowed him to fight the masked man on equal footing, dodging his space-time ninjutsu and landing decisive blows. Meanwhile, Kabuto revealed his trump card, the resurrection of Madara Uchiha. The very name sent shivers through the allied forces. Madara, the legendary co-founder of Konoha, had been dead for decades, yet he stood revived in a body even stronger than in life. When he descended onto the battlefield, his presence alone crushed entire platoons. He activated the eternal Mangekyo Sharingan and unleashed the Susanoo with overwhelming force. Madara faced thousands of ninja alone and obliterated them. He summoned meteors from the sky, 2 colossal stones that crashed into the battlefield, leveling everything. Even the 5 Kage, the strongest leaders of the ninja world, stood no chance. Madara toyed with them, showing the vast difference in power. He even activated the Rinnegan, revealing that his resurrection was far beyond Kabuto's control. He was more than a pawn. He was a force of nature returning to reclaim his plan. As Naruto fought tirelessly on one front, Sasuke was on his own journey. After the war began, he confronted Orochimaru's remnants and revived Orochimaru himself using Anko's cursed seal. Sasuke sought the truth about his clan, questioning everything he had believed. Orochimaru guided him to the place where the Hokage's souls rested. There, Sasuke revived the previous 4 Hokage with Edo Tensei: Hashirama Senju, Tobirama Senju, Hiruzen Sarutobi, and even Minato Namikaze, Naruto's father. Through their words, Sasuke learned the true history of the Uchiha, the Senju, and the endless cycle of hatred that had plagued the shinobi world. Hashirama revealed his dream of uniting the ninja world and how it had failed. Sasuke saw the truth of Itachi's sacrifice from the very people who shaped the village. Torn between revenge and redemption, Sasuke made his choice. He would fight in the war, but his goal was still his own: to redefine what it meant to be a shinobi. Back on the battlefield, Naruto and Killer Bee faced the masked man, who finally revealed his identity: Obito Uchiha, Kakashi's long-lost friend who was believed to have died years ago. Obito told the world that everything was meaningless,
that reality was full of pain and lies, and that only his infinite Tsukuyomi plan could bring peace by trapping everyone in a dream. His words shook Naruto, but Naruto countered with his unyielding belief in bonds and reality, refusing to accept a false peace. Obito then summoned the demonic statue of the Outer Path, a monstrous husk of the Ten Tails. Piece by piece, they gathered all the tailed beasts to revive the original creature of legend. When the Ten Tails was finally reborn, its sheer size and power dwarfed everything. It fired chakra blasts that obliterated entire landscapes in seconds. Naruto, Sasuke, the allied forces, and the reanimated Hokage fought desperately. Sasuke arrived on the battlefield atop his giant hawk summon, surprising Naruto. For the first time since their fateful battle at the Valley of the End, the two fought side by side, their powers combining against the overwhelming enemy. Madara and Obito, however, were steps ahead. Obito became the Ten Tails Jinchuriki, gaining near godlike power. He crushed the Alliance's forces with a flick of his will, warping reality itself. Naruto and Sasuke, along with their friends Kakashi, Minato, and the others, fought with everything they had. Naruto's unwavering heart managed to reach Obito's buried humanity. For a moment, the boy who once dreamed of becoming Hokage resurfaced, torn between his ideal and the reality he had abandoned. But Madara seized the opportunity, betraying Obito. With a cunning move, he manipulated the Black Zetsu, a will of Kaguya Otsutsuki, the true progenitor of chakra, to take over Obito's body and complete his own resurrection as a living being. Now fully alive, Madara became the Ten Tails Jinchuriki himself. His power was incomprehensible. He easily brushed aside the entire alliance, ripped the tailed beasts from their hosts, and even killed Naruto and Sasuke by striking their hearts with a single precise attack. As Naruto lay in a dark subconscious space, he met the fading chakra of his parents, Minato and Kushina, as well as the other tailed beasts. They entrusted him with their power and their hopes. At the same time, Sasuke encountered Hagoromo Otsutsuki, the sage of six paths who revealed the truth about chakra, Kaguya, and the endless cycle of hatred between Indra and Asura's reincarnations. Hagoromo entrusted both Naruto and Sasuke with a portion of his power, giving them a chance to stop Madara and change the world. Revived and stronger than ever, Naruto and Sasuke returned to the battlefield. Naruto gained the Sage of Six Paths mode, his body glowing with truth-seeking orbs floating behind him, while Sasuke awakened the Rinnegan in his left eye. Together, they combined their strength to challenge Madara in a final, earth-shaking battle. But Madara's plan reached its zenith. He cast the infinite Tsukuyomi, reflecting his eye off the moon and trapping the entire world in an eternal dream. Just as he stood victorious, ready to reshape reality, the truth was revealed. Madara, too, was only a pawn. Black Zetsu, the shadowy will of Kaguya Otsutsuki, betrayed him. Kaguya, the original wielder of chakra, the rabbit goddess who once tried to enslave humanity, was revived. She was beyond human understanding, an alien being of pure power. Her arrival warped the battlefield into strange dimensions of ice, lava, and gravity-defying voids. Naruto and Sasuke, aided by Kakashi and Sakura, faced this ultimate foe. Kaguya's might was overwhelming. She could shift dimensions at will, nullify most attacks, and her Byakugan-like vision left no blind spots. Yet Naruto's unpredictability and Sasuke's sharp strategy gradually cornered her. In a final desperate maneuver, Kaguya unleashed a massive attack that would erase everything. Naruto and Sasuke combined their powers, sealing her away once more with the 6 paths Chibaku Tensei, returning her to the moon. With Kaguya gone, the nightmare seemed to end, but one last conflict remained. Sasuke, standing in the aftermath, declared his true intent. He would destroy the current system of the shinobi world and become a true revolutionary leader. He planned to kill the tailed beasts and the Kage, severing all old ties of hatred. Naruto refused. He told Sasuke he would never let him shoulder the burden of hatred alone. Their ideals clashed once more, leading them back to the Valley of the End. There, under the setting sun, they faced each other for the final time. 2 boys whose lives had been bound since the beginning, now standing on opposite sides of their dreams. They fought with everything they had. Rasengan and Chidori collided again and again, shaking the earth. Naruto channeled all his memories, their laughter, their pain, the bonds they had forged. Sasuke unleashed his full Rinnegan powers, determined to cut ties. They exchanged blows until their bodies were broken and their chakra nearly gone. In the final clash, both boys collapsed, their fists connecting in one last exchange of feelings. They lay side by side, staring at the sky, their blood mingling on the ground. Both had lost an arm in the final attack. Sasuke, exhausted, finally admitted his defeat, not because Naruto was stronger, but because Naruto never gave up on him. With tears in his eyes, Sasuke smiled faintly for the first time in years. He acknowledged Naruto as his friend and let go of his hatred. The cycle of pain, at least between them, had finally ended. The war was over. Peace slowly returned to the shinobi world. After the war ended, the shinobi world stood in a fragile peace. The allied forces disbanded, returning to their villages to rebuild and heal. The landscape bore the scars of countless battles, but the people, inspired by Naruto's and Sasuke's reconciliation, believed a new era was possible. Naruto and Sasuke, still recovering from their final battle, sat side by side at the Valley of the End. Both had lost an arm, wrapped in bandages, staring quietly at the horizon. Sasuke apologized, not with words of grandeur, but with a simple, heartfelt acknowledgement that Naruto had saved him from the darkness he had embraced. Naruto smiled, forgiving him instantly. In that moment, their bond was stronger than it had ever been. Sasuke chose a path of redemption. Rather than returning to the leaf right away, he set off on a journey of atonement, wandering the world to better understand its pain and his place in it. Before leaving, he poked Sakura gently on the forehead. The same gesture Itachi had once given him, a silent promise that he would return. Sakura, though sad, understood his choice. Naruto returned to the hidden leaf, greeted as a true hero by everyone. For the first time, villagers looked at him not with fear or suspicion, but with admiration and gratitude. Children followed him in the streets, their faces filled with hope. The boy who once sat alone on the swing, wishing to be noticed, was now recognized by all. In the years that followed, great changes swept through the ninja world. The 5 great nations began working together more closely than ever before, forming alliances to prevent future wars. Technology advanced rapidly, with scientific tools and new ways of living emerging in the villages. The era of constant bloodshed slowly faded. Naruto continued to train and help others, growing wiser with each passing year. He cherished his friendships deeply. Shikamaru became his trusted advisor. Kakashi eventually took the mantle of the 6th Hokage before passing the torch, and the bonds with Sakura, Sai, and the rest of his comrades remained unbroken. Tsunade stepped down and supported the new generation of leaders from behind the scenes. Meanwhile, Gaara thrived as Kazekage of the Sand Village, maintaining the friendship forged during the war. Other Kage worked toward uniting their nations for lasting peace.
The world Naruto dreamed of began to take shape, slowly and imperfectly, but steadily moving toward harmony. Naruto and Hinata's bond blossomed quietly over time. She had always believed in him, even when no one else did. Her courage during the Pain invasion, when she risked her life to protect him, had left a mark on his heart. Eventually, Naruto realized the depth of her love and the quiet strength she had always carried. Their relationship grew naturally, and they eventually married in a joyful ceremony attended by all their friends. Sakura continued to excel as a medical ninja, becoming one of the strongest healers in the world. She eventually reunited with Sasuke during his journey of atonement, and their bond deepened into something enduring. As the years passed, the next generation was born. Naruto and Hinata had 2 children, Boruto, a spirited boy who inherited Naruto's mischief and energy, and Himawari, a gentle and kind girl. Sasuke and Sakura had a daughter named Sarada, who bore the pride of both her parents' legacies. Other friends also had children, filling the village with a new wave of life and hope. Finally, the day came when Naruto's dream was realized. Standing atop the Hokage monument, wearing the Hokage's cloak with flames dancing at the edges, Naruto was officially named the 7th Hokage of the Hidden Leaf Village. The crowd cheered his name, and for a moment, he thought back to all the struggles that had brought him here. The lonely boy, the swing in the academy yard, the battles fought, the friends lost and found, and the promises made. He smiled, remembering Iruka, who had been like a big brother, Jiraiya, who had taught him the meaning of a true shinobi, and his parents, who had entrusted him with the will to never give up. Naruto knew he had not achieved peace alone. It was the bonds with everyone around him, friends, rivals, mentors, and even enemies, that had shaped his path. As Hokage, Naruto continued to protect the village and nurture the new generation. He often saw Boruto causing trouble, reminding him of himself at that age, and he couldn't help but laugh. The cycle of dreams continued, now carried by their children, who would one day forge their own stories. In the end, Naruto had fulfilled his promise to himself and to everyone who believed in him. He brought his best friend back from the darkness. He ended the cycle of hatred in his own way. He gained the acknowledgement he always sought, not by power alone, but by never abandoning his ideals, and never giving up on people. The boy who once said he wanted to become Hokage to be acknowledged, had become a man who was acknowledged, because he had already become someone worthy of the title long before wearing the hat. And so, the legacy of Naruto Uzumaki, the boy with the 9 tails inside him, who changed the fate of the shinobi world, lived on. Not just in monuments or titles, but in the hearts of everyone he touched. Thank you for joining Sleepy Otaku Stories. If tonight's anime story helped you unwind, please like, comment, and subscribe. Rest well, and good night.